What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for PlayPicks.com. Going to take a look at this Thursday night football game between the Broncos and the Cardinals. Not one that really jumps off the page, is one that we are super excited about watching, but one that might have an interesting angle from a betting perspective nonetheless. So we'll be sure and take a look at this. Please head over to PlayPicks.com. You can use /bonus. That'll get you all the best sign-up bonuses and free money deposit options that's going on out there in the sports betting world if you live in and or around that New Jersey area over there. And, of course, while you're here, hit that subscribe button down below, trying to get this page up to as many subscribers as humanly possible, and I really do appreciate it if you'll do that for us. All right, as we mentioned, we have us the mighty Broncos and the mighty Cardinals, and I say that obviously tongue-in-cheek. These two teams have been two of the worst teams in the league so far, and it doesn't look like there's going to be much turning around for either one of these teams. It looks like both of these teams are going to be blown up. There are rumors that the Cardinals are basically taking options for a lot of their players. Anyone wants to try to go after Patrick Peterson. Anybody wants to try to go after some of those other guys. I think David Johnson's probably about the only guy off limits there for the Cardinals. And then the Broncos, looks like they're going to have to rip that down as well. This whole Case Keenum experiment has been complete disaster for them, and looks like they're going to have to try and rebuild this team as well. I mean, you look up and you're in that division, especially with the Broncos, right? And you're in that division with those teams and those young players and things like that, and you realize there's just no way you're going to be able to compete. So, a couple of bad teams here, but still might have us some opportunity whenever we take a look here. All right, our odds going into this one, DraftKings Sportsbook, they're at 142 total. 888 Sportsbook, Broncos at 142 total. FanDuel Sportsbook still at 1.5, 42 total. Again, same disclaimers we always talk about here, guys. Money's going to come in. These odds are going to bounce around. This is as of the time of this recording. So if it's not the exact odds when you go to look, sorry, just kind of the way it works, right? So hopefully it'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of where whenever we're recording this. These numbers actually been bouncing around pretty heavily. I've seen it as high as 2.5. I've seen it all the way down to pick. So money is kind of coming in all over the place on this, and these numbers continue to bounce around. So if you like a side particularly better than another, maybe, and you don't really like what the offering is right at that time that you want to go bet, maybe hold out a little bit, because it looks like this number is pretty volatile as we look right now. Denver, as written in the article right here on playpicks.com, their road struggles are just absolutely terrible under Vance Joseph. They have been one of the worst road teams in all of the NFL since he took over there. So it is going to be a tough task, even heading to Arizona, even though Arizona is not a very stout team so far this year as well. Now, if you are one of those guys that buys into narratives and you want to bet a narrative, Vance Joseph could very well be coaching for his job in this game. The way that this team has played, the expectations were much higher. I know this was at least a playoff expectation team, and the way that he's played on the road, the way that this team has performed, if they go and lose this game to a very poor Arizona Cardinals team, I think we're waking up on Friday morning to news that Vance Joseph has been relieved of his job. So I think that we're probably, if you're one of those guys that buys into a narrative, he's coaching for his job, I would imagine, in this scenario. Taking a look at the Arizona defense. They're 10th overall, 9th against the pass, 14th against the rush, and have actually been coming around pretty well, actually. They've been playing pretty good here as of late. So one of the defenses that was really, really bad at the beginning of the year and has started to play a little bit better, started to find a little bit of their footing and whatnot. On the other side of the ball here, Denver's defense, 18th overall and 8th against the pass, 29th against the rush. And the reason that is so important is this fella right here, David Johnson. So one of the things that has been good about, one of the few bright spots that's been good about this Arizona Cardinals team is they finally decided to put the ball in David Johnson's hands, 20 plus times a game. There needs to be more. The talent on this team, or lack thereof, should be 25 plus times a game, but at least they're getting the notion that, hey, what a shocker in the NFL. We're going to put the ball in our best players' hands as much as possible. Now, the other thing to take into consideration is Denver defense, and while they're stout against the pass, they're actually 19th against pass-catching running backs. And, of course, David Johnson, one of the very best there is. Hopefully, people in Arizona, hopefully someone down there looked at these statistics and realized, like, wow, not only do we have this super talented pass-catching back, but this team is actually kind of middle of the pack, below middle of the pack against pass-catching running backs. This makes all the sense in the world to put the ball in this guy's hands. So we'll see how this plays out. That said, I'm kind of over trusting this Cardinals team to do the right thing, because it has not been the case so far whatsoever in this so far in this season, and certainly as we continue to go. As far as pace goes, we've got a fast-paced team in Denver. They're 5th in the league. Arizona 21st. So that's just going to kind of cancel out, equal out. We're going to have basically a normal kind of paced game in this one. So it's not like two fast-paced teams where we're definitely going to be siding, leaning at least towards the over, or two super slow teams where we might be looking at the under situation, something like that. We've got a fast-paced team, kind of a middle of the road, bottom third-ish team right there. It'll cancel each other out. Should be kind of a normal thing there. So as far as the pick goes this week, if you guys have been watching these videos, whenever these numbers land on 1.5, 2.5, it's almost an auto tease for me every single time. I've been doing it for the last 5 years with a lot of success, and it's just a pretty good method whenever you look at these, especially a couple of these teams that are so volatile as these Arizona teams. And this Denver team, right? Like, you never really know what you're getting out of these guys here. And the reason I say the 1.5, the 2, and the 2.5 is because whenever you tease that dog through from 1.5, you're getting to 7.5. From 2, you're getting to 8. From 2.5, you're getting to 8.5. And you're teasing through both of those key numbers of 3 and 7. And very profitably, a lot of sharp bettors have been doing this for years. And I've been doing it for about 5 years at this juncture, and doing it pretty well. So full disclosure in this video, I got on this early and actually got it at 2. I know the number's at 1.5 now at FanDuel. So if you want to get it, you're going to have to get that 1.5 over at FanDuel Sportsbook right now. Again, watch those other sportsbooks. If one of the other ones is something you prefer, watch those while you're at it. But I certainly think this number could kind of bob and weave here. I don't know how many people feel like they want to be backing this really poor Cardinals team here, especially the public. When you look at it, that was the other thing that we can kind of look at here. 65% of the bets and over 65% of the money is coming in on Denver so far in this game. So that's a pretty interesting stat that a lot of people are still backing Denver. I don't know if they still have this idea that this Denver defense is still this incredibly great lockdown defense, which it's not. I don't know if people still have faith in Case Keenum, or if they're just looking at the skill positions and they see, well, it's Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, and they have Cortland Sutton as well. And, all these things. I don't know what exactly it is, but yeah, these teams are both equally bad in my eyes, and you can see that in the number right there, right? I mean, this thing at 1.5, 2, something like that, wherever you find it. If you're not into the whole teaser thing, and again, just for transparency purposes, I teased this one, and I paired it with the Saints game. Saints 2.5 point dogs in that game as of the time of this recording. So you're able to tease that Saints team up through 8.5. And so that's kind of been, like I said, a tried and true method I've been using. And until it really goes south on me, certainly something I'm going to keep considering and keep doing. If you want to bet this game straight up, I do lean towards the Cardinals here. Again, I think this is a situation where they're so bad at rush defense. You've got David Johnson. They tend to give it up to pass-catching backs as well. That fits David Johnson as well. We've actually seen signs of life since Josh Rosen has taken over at quarterback for this Cardinals team. Him and Christian Kirk seem to have a little bit of a chemistry thing going on. Ricky Seals-Jones is a guy that they've kind of gotten involved there as well at the tight end position. And frankly, I just don't trust Case Keenum. If you've seen, this guy's just a human turnover. He just doesn't have any sort of chemistry with any of the receivers. And again, this team overall has just played so incredibly poorly on the road. Of course, playing in Denver, one of the bigger home field advantages in all of the NFL, so it naturally they're going to be playing better at home, and that's just not the case here in this one, heading to Arizona to take on this game. So again, lean to Arizona in this one. I actually lean a little bit to the over. I think Arizona is going to score in this game. I think they probably score a few touchdowns in this game, maybe kick a couple field goals, and I think that they're certainly not going to shut out the Broncos when it comes down to it. So I have a little bit of a lean to the over in this one as well. But the actual play here, I'm going to tease this thing through the two key numbers, open up a teaser with the Saints, and we're going to cash that ticket hopefully here. Guys, head over to playpicks.com. Use that /bonus, BONUS. You can see all of our sportsbook and DFS bonuses there. We have some free money offers as well if you live in the New Jersey area over there, New York, Pennsylvania, stuff like that. Be sure and take care of this. Be sure and take advantage of those offers because there's just nothing like it on the internet anywhere else. And while you're here, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying really hard to continue to build this channel. So really appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button and never missing one of these videos. We'll see you guys on Sunday.